Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's absolutely critical for every single car owner, but one that many people unfortunately overlook. We're talking about engine oil. What actually happens if you decide to push your luck and drive your car with no oil in it? Is it a minor mistake, or is it a catastrophic, wallet-destroying disaster? Let's find out. So, let's start with the basics. Why is engine oil so important? Think of it as the lifeblood of your engine. Your engine is a complex piece of machinery with thousands of moving parts, all rubbing against each other at incredibly high speeds. Oil has a few key jobs. First, lubrication. It creates a thin, protective film between these metal components, like the pistons, cylinders, and crankshaft. This film prevents direct metal-on-metal contact, which drastically reduces friction. Without it, you'd just have raw metal grinding against raw metal. Second, oil is a coolant. While your car's primary cooling system handles the bulk of the heat, oil plays a vital supporting role. It circulates through the engine, absorbing heat from areas the coolant can't reach, like the bottom end of the engine, and carries it away to the oil pan where it can dissipate. Third, oil is a cleaner. As your engine runs, it creates tiny byproducts like metal shavings, soot, and other gunk. Oil picks up these contaminants and carries them to the oil filter, which traps them. This keeps your engine's internal passages clean and free-flowing. And finally, oil acts as a sealant and corrosion inhibitor. It helps seal the gap between the piston rings and the cylinder walls, which is crucial for maintaining compression and engine power. It also coats metal surfaces to prevent them from rusting and corroding over time. So, lubrication, cooling, cleaning, and protection. That's a lot of responsibility for one fluid. Now, let's imagine the worst-case scenario. You've either got a massive oil leak you didn't notice, or you've just completely forgotten to check and top it up, and your engine is now running essentially dry. What happens next? The timeline for total engine destruction is shockingly fast. We're not talking about days or even hours. We're talking about minutes, and sometimes, even seconds. The very first thing you'll notice is the noise. An engine without oil is a loud engine. You'll start to hear a symphony of terrible sounds. First, a light tapping or ticking noise from the top of the engine. This is the valve train, the lifters and camshafts, starved of lubrication. This sound will quickly escalate into a much louder, more aggressive knocking or clanking sound coming from deep within the engine. This is the sound of the rod bearings failing. These bearings are what the connecting rods pivot on, and without oil, they start to slam and hammer against the crankshaft. It's a sound that makes any mechanic's blood run cold. Simultaneously, the friction is generating an insane amount of heat. Remember how oil helps with cooling. Without it, the temperature inside your engine skyrockets. The metal parts begin to expand rapidly. This is where things go from bad to catastrophic. The pistons, which are moving up and down in the cylinders thousands of times per minute, will expand so much that they literally get stuck. They can seize against the cylinder walls, effectively welding themselves in place. When a piston seizes, the incredible force of the crankshaft trying to keep turning can cause a connecting rod to snap. A snapped connecting rod is like a wild sledgehammer loose inside your engine. It can punch a hole straight through the side of your engine block, an event colorfully known as throwing a rod. If this happens, you'll see oil and smoke pouring out from under your car, and your engine will come to a very sudden, very final stop. Even if you don't throw a rod, the damage is still immense. The crankshaft and camshafts will be scored and warped beyond repair. The cylinder walls will be gouged and scraped. The bearings will be completely destroyed, melted into a mess of metal. Essentially, every single moving part inside your engine will be ruined. So, how long does this all take? It depends on the engine and how fast you're driving, but from the moment the oil pressure drops to zero, you might only have 30 seconds to a couple of minutes before irreversible, terminal damage occurs. If you're on the highway at high RPMs, it could be over in less than a minute. At idle, you might have a few minutes, but the end result is the same. A completely seized, destroyed engine. Let's talk about the cost of this mistake. Fixing an engine that has seized from lack of oil is almost never a viable option. The damage is just too widespread and severe. You can't just replace one or two parts. You're looking at a complete engine replacement or a total rebuild. A used engine can cost several $1,000s, plus the labor to install it. A brand new engine from the manufacturer. That can easily cost more than the car itself is worth, especially for older vehicles. We're talking a $5,000 to $10,000 mistake, sometimes even more. This is why a simple, $10 oil check can save you a fortune. So how do you prevent this nightmare scenario? It's incredibly simple. First, pay attention to your dashboard. Every car has an oil pressure warning light. It usually looks like an old-fashioned oil can. If this light ever comes on while you're driving, it is not a suggestion, it is an emergency. It means you have lost oil pressure, and you need to pull over and shut off the engine immediately. Do not try to make it to the next exit, or limp it home. Every second the engine runs without oil pressure is causing more damage. Pull over safely, turn it off, and call for a tow truck. Second, get into the habit of checking your oil regularly. It takes less than 2 minutes. Do it once a month, or before any long road trip. Make sure your car is on level ground and the engine is off and has had a few minutes to cool down so the oil can drain back into the pan. Pull out the dipstick, wipe it clean with a paper towel, reinsert it all the way, and then pull it out again to check the level. The oil should be between the full and add marks. If it's low, top it up with the correct type of oil for your car. You can find this information in your owner's manual. While you're checking the level, also look at the color and consistency of the oil on the dipstick. Healthy oil is typically a honey or amber color. If it's black and gritty, it's overdue for a change. If it looks milky or frothy, like a coffee-colored milkshake, that's a sign that coolant is leaking into your oil, which is another serious problem that needs immediate attention from a mechanic. Finally, stick to a regular oil change schedule. Most modern cars recommend an oil change every 5,000 to 7,500 miles, or sometimes even 10,000 miles if you're using synthetic oil. Again, your owner's manual is your best friend here. Regular oil changes not only ensure you have enough oil, but they also replace the old, dirty oil and a fresh filter, which keeps your engine clean and protected. An oil change is one of the cheapest and most effective pieces of preventative maintenance you can do for your car. In summary, driving a car without oil is one of the fastest and most surefire ways to completely destroy your engine. The process is quick, violent, and incredibly expensive to fix. The engine will overheat, internal components will grind themselves to dust, and it will ultimately seize up, leaving you with a multi-thousand-dollar repair bill. The good news is that it's 100% preventable. Pay attention to your warning lights, check your oil level once a month, and stick to your recommended oil change schedule. A few minutes of your time and a few dollars spent on maintenance can save you from a catastrophic engine failure down the road. Treat your engine well, and it will treat you well in return. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope this was helpful and maybe a little bit scary in a good way. If you learned something, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more car care tips and tricks. Drive safe, check your oil, and we'll see you in the next one.